Yo, what's up guys? So before we get into this, I want to remind everybody that the more views we get on this video, the more money we can generate for the Garcia family. It will all be donated to them. All my YouTube earnings for the month will be donated to them, and if this video keeps producing, I will donate it all to them. So like and share the video as much as you can. Put it out there, and I will talk more on the situation after the racing. So let's get started.
You're good, bro. No worries.
Okay, guys. So that was a cash days that went down here in Albuquerque this past weekend. As you saw, there was only a few races. I threw in some races of some GoPro footage I got in Arizona. They actually didn't let me film out there because I didn't sign up in time or whatever, but that's a different story. So as you may have noticed, there was only like 10 races or something. It was one round. And what happened at this cash days is a man was shot and killed at the spot. I do not know what happened, what the argument was about, and frankly, I don't care. I've heard millions of stories by now, and I don't know which one to believe or who's wrong or who's right or any of that. But what I do know is that nobody deserves to get in their 600 horsepower car for the weekend and go out to a cash days to have some fun and end up being killed that same day. The guy was from Gallup, I believe. I've never met him. I've never seen him or anything. I've never heard mention of his name. Damn, these flies are just killing me. But, it's really saddening that it had to come like this, especially because I know that the argument was probably over something stupid and something that didn't need to end like that. Like I said, I don't know what exactly happened, or what caused whoever shot him to shoot him. I don't think anybody's in custody. I don't know. They haven't released much information at this point that I'm filming this. But it's truly sad that can happen to somebody, and it sucks because now, once this really gets big and they get somebody in custody or whatever and it hits the news like for real, because it's kind of light right now. I think everybody that knows about it is mainly the people that are in the scene and obviously whoever keeps up with the news like a lot. But, I know eventually something will come out and it will get really big. And of course, everybody that isn't into street racing or whatever, people from the outside that look at us now think that we're all a bunch of killers. That's how the media is going to portray us, and that's really not what we're about at all. I've gone to countless amounts of cash days. I've been to cash days in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, Colorado, here in New Mexico, obviously, Arizona, Las Vegas, California, and I've never seen anything like this happen. There's always arguments and stuff, and I'll get into spectators here in a little bit, but the way things are ran is different in other states. Everybody's a lot more serious and there's safety. I've been to a cash days where they said 660. Whenever we race with Richard, he tells you in the driver's meeting, if you don't have a helmet on, you can't race, and that's on the street. There's no tech or nothing, but people just run things differently and they are more conscious of what's going on. Now, I don't want to get too off track here, but one of the problems with this race this weekend, I wasn't here. I was in Arizona. I had one of my guys out there filming, Javi, thank you. But one of the issues was the amount of spectators. I saw videos and videos were sent to me. I want to say anywhere from, I don't know, minimum 150 people plus probably about 200 spectators, and that is just ridiculous for 20 some cars. There's a lot of issues with the cash days. There was people like, from what I could tell, like 150 feet out from the starting line. That is one of the worst decisions you can make as a spectator. I film and stuff, and I know the risk that comes with being in front of the starting line. One of these guys can lose control of one of these cars any second, and next thing you know, it's on top of you. So that's really dangerous. And the reason there was so many spectators is how this cash days was posted. It was posted all over Facebook, they hid the date on the post, I think, but I feel like after a while, enough people got a hold of the date and time and everything. So, you know, loose lips sink ships, and one guy gets a screenshot of when and where and everything, date, time, location. He sends it to his buddy buddy sends it to his buddy, here, you know, and it's just a chain, and before you know it, everybody and their mother's there. These are some of the reasons that a lot of these cash days are low key. And you know what? I get it. As much as we want to avoid every single spectator, you know, the perfect street race is with no spectators. 2 crew guys and the racer and no spectators, something like that would be the perfect cash days. But that's also hard to accomplish, and I get it. I've been a spectator. Shit, I still am a spectator, other than, you know, I film races, so I don't know if you consider me a spectator or not. But the difference is, when I find out about a race, I don't go telling everybody. You know, I post when I know about races because I want to get other racers out there, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna give out locations and times and dates. So that is the reason that a lot of the bigger stuff or the faster people keep their shit low key. Like, they don't need anybody there to cause issues like this and put a bad name on the sport, because we're already doing something illegal and we all know the risk that comes with it. The last thing we need is, you know, a bunch of bozos running around drunk with guns causing issues like this. This just literally puts a bad name. You know, that spot that we race at is probably ruined for I don't know how long. I guess time will tell. And that was really the only spot we had, you know, worth racing on, at least for anybody that's decently fast. And spectators, I think, from what I've seen, having a lot of them is problematic. They get in the way of the racing. They're always, you know, ahead of the starting line, and everybody wants to see this stuff, but it really is an inconvenience for a lot of racers a lot of the time. And spectators cause a lot of issues. Side bets cause a lot of issues. So I kind of want to direct this towards spectators. And one of the things I've seen cause a lot of issues in the past myself is side bets. I just want to let you know that just because you have money in the race, I don't care if it's $20 or $5,000. If it's a side bet, whatever type of bet it is, just because you have money in the race does not mean you have a say in what happens. This is why a lot of people, I've seen videos, you know, like Valley Racing. Every time he bets somebody, he say, we're going off the call. And at first I was like, I don't know why he tells that to everybody, but then you start to realize that people think because they have money in it, and sometimes they have more money in it than the racers do or than the pot is, and that makes them think that they, for some reason, have an opinion in what the call is, or, you know, nobody gives a fuck what you think. The call is for the flagger to make, and if that call is against you, you pay up. It doesn't mean that you come and make stipulations about a jump or about whatever, because those things are what start to lead to issues like what happened this past weekend. And, you know, everybody gets a little too angry or whatever. Like I said, I don't know what the argument this weekend was about, but those are some of the issues that I have seen with spectators in the past. So those are the reasons that spectators are avoided most of the time, and that's why everybody tries to get rid of them. But I think that the people running it were not really conscious of that and didn't really think about it, you know. I don't think they were careful of who they sent the information to, and so on and so forth. And if you're a spectator and you're fortunate enough to find out about a really cool event, you know there's going to be fast cars there. I don't know, maybe you kind of know the sister of the friend's brother, or of the guy that's racing or whatever, and somehow you ended up there. I say take that with responsibility, and you know just show up on your own, and don't spread the word everywhere. Don't be telling everybody where it's at, you know. Kind of keep it to yourself, because like I said, as much as we want to, we probably will never get 100% rid of spectators. There's just, I feel like it's really hard, especially with crew members and things like that. A lot of the times crew members are spectators, and that kind of makes up some of the crowd. So it's definitely difficult to keep 100% of spectators away, but there are precautions that can be taken when you're trying to run an event to avoid this. Another thing is, running a cash days is not something that is easy, or you know that's part of the reason I haven't done one. I like I said, I've gone to cash days in basically every surrounding state near New Mexico, and you know I know some people with fast cars and stuff, and they ask me, why don't you throw one in New Mexico, because there's only one big one here. And you know I kind of just push it to the side or whatever, because I know what it takes to run one, and I know I don't want to be in that situation, and I don't know if I can run one smoothly how I've seen some of these be run. That's why I haven't myself, you know, stepped up to the plate to run one. You know, there's people out here that do this every weekend, and it's crazy. Like when we were in DFW, there's the organization is, and even out there we had issues with cops and all kinds of stuff, but there is a ton of work that goes into running a cash days. You truly need a crew, and you need to know what you're doing. It's not just something you put together all the time, especially when you have a lot of people that are inexperienced in these things, because a lot of cars that were there, you know, weren't, you know, I know a lot of these people haven't ever been to like a real deal cash days. So when you have people like that, then it's especially hard to try and run something, because even with people that know it, it's a pain, and usually it's a pain because of spectators, but not always. You know, it's hard to round up a lot of people. There's always tough calls to make by the flagger. That's why the flagger always makes the final call, and that's why you should have a flagger that you trust. But yeah, that's part of the reason that I've never taken that into consideration. Maybe one day, but I don't really think so. It's just not something I want to do, or something I want to have a responsibility of, especially with the level of cars that could be invited. I just don't want to disappoint, you know, and that's kind of why I haven't ran one or tried to put one on, if you were wondering. And for anybody that's watching this that maybe hasn't ever been to a race, or, you know, like I said, I don't want everybody or the media or whatever, you know, it's gonna really put a bad name on racing. But like I said, that's not what we are about. You know, I know what we do is illegal and street race, but it's not about what happened this weekend. It gets a lot of attention when it does happen, so that's why a lot of us are portrayed, or a lot of street racers are portrayed as bad people or whatever, at least on the news. And you know, most of the time, anybody that's serious about this stuff, they're out racing in the middle of nowhere, you know, make sure there's little to no traffic, and like I said, they always do their best to avoid as many spectators as possible. Obviously it's the racers that are invited, so somebody's got to be inviting these people, right? In other situations, in this situation, it was just posted everywhere, which I think is a huge problem. But I just want everybody to know that, you know, I've never met any real deal drag racer that is causing issues to this extent, to where they're out there causing problems like this, pulling guns and stuff. And you know, there's always, I have tons of Cash Days videos on this account, obviously, and even if you watch any of that, any earnings from YouTube for this month are going to the family, the Garcia family. So if you watch any of that, you know, there's always arguments about side bets, about jumps, about this and that. There's always the smack talk. That's part of it. That's part of the competitiveness, but never to the point where you want to shoot somebody over, I don't know, whatever. There's nothing there's no Cash Days argument that's worth shooting somebody over, you know? And that's what's truly saddening about this. So I just want you all to keep that in mind, you know. So with all that said, once again, our condolences to the Garcia family. We are putting on a car show in about 2 weeks, I believe, where we will be taking donations and we'll have a bunch of cars and stuff there. There's going to be a flyer out for it soon. So just as far as my YouTube earnings, you guys, the channel gets reviewed, I think, every 17th of the month. That's when they go over how much my earnings will be, and then I get paid out about 10 days after that. So we need to get as many views on this video before the 17th. That way, you know, the more views we get on this video, the more money I can donate to the Garcia family. YouTube earnings are not a ton. They average about $300 a month for me, but you know, it's what I can help with, and it's what I want to be able to help with, as well as my merch sales. Any profit from that is going to them as well for the next few weeks. So yeah, thank you all for watching. You guys have a nice day. We'll see you on the next one.